Forget all the troubles and blues. Dive into the blue. Oh yes, talk to the fish.
Hello, fins and scales. I'm Jack, your favorite clownfish who refuses to be a cliche and to be funny, yet somehow manages it anyway. Welcome to Talk to the Fish, the show where we prove it's never too late to transform your underwater moves from rusty anchor to marine maestro. Tonight, we're joined by my dear friend Regis, a dive instructor whose fluid movements underwater almost compensate for his complete inability to color coordinate his fins. Welcome, Regis.
Thanks, Jack. Wonderful to be here. And a warm hello to all our diving friends out there. Remember, every fish starts as a guppy before becoming an expert swimmer.
Speaking of swimming, we've received this message from a viewer, Moray to Love. I carry a lot of weight. Is that why my tank empties quickly? Which reminds me of this diver carrying so much lead, he made a wreck look buoyant.
Perfect timing. This flows splendidly into part 4 of our air consumption special, when your weight belt turns into a ball and chain.
So, enlighten us, Regis. How exactly does hauling around a personal anchor collection affect our air consumption?
When you're loaded with unnecessary weight, you will drag painfully through the water like a whale stuck in molasses.
Strange. So wearing my collection of gold medals underwater isn't helping my technique?
Not unless you want to break the world record for fastest tank emptying. And here's another twist. When divers compensate by inflating their BCDs, they transform into drifting blimps, creating even more resistance.
That explains why I saw a diver yesterday, moving sideways faster than forward.
When you're weighted with too many leads, to maintain that perfect horizontal position becomes impossible.
Impossible? That's a bit strong. Expecting a fish to solve a crossword puzzle, that is fin-possible.
And Jack, all that extra finning to stay level, this impacts your air supply. It disappears faster than cookies in the break room of the studio.
Sorry, I was hungry.
Plus, there's a mental game. When you're wrestling with too much weight, well, have you already seen a panicked parrotfish?
Every day on my way to work.
Your breathing pattern is similar, and let's be honest, nobody wants that.
My grandmother always said, the ocean already carries enough weight. No need to add yours.
She's wise beyond her scales, because ultimately, lugging around extra weight underwater compares to running a marathon wearing medieval armor when you reach the finish line.
Your breathing makes a leaf blower look modest.
Yes, your air consumption is off the charts.
Now, Regis, let's solve this weighty situation. What's your secret recipe for achieving that perfect underwater equilibrium?
The golden rule is the eye-level flow test. In calm water with your weight belt, an empty BCD and a normal breath, you should float at eye level.
And if you sink faster than my comedy career on land?
Then you're overweighted. And don't forget your fashion choices matter. Thicker wetsuits need more weight. Always test with what you'll actually wear.
Much unlike your choice of diving attire, which looks more experimental than scientific.
Says a fish whose anemone decor skills rival a kindergartner's. But back to business. Remember, your tank gets lighter throughout the dive, so test with a near empty one.
Any starting point for our mathematically challenged friends?
About 5 to 8% of your body weight works as a baseline, but that's just where the adventure begins. Then you fine-tune with small adjustments, 1 to 2 pounds at a time.
Like fine-tuning my stellar ratings after each show.
You're welcome. And finally, keep detailed logs of your weights, exposure suit, and tank pressure. Think of it as your underwater diary.
My grandmother would add, the only pressure you need underwater comes from your depth gauge.
Your grandmother seems quite chatty today.
Well, she's the only one who laughs at all my jokes.
She has a remarkable insight. Not about your jokes, but because proper weighting isn't just about numbers, it's about finding that sweet spot where you glide through water without fighting against it.
Starting with enough weights is good, but shedding them off is even better. Regis, spill the bubbles on getting there.
First and foremost, dive, dive, dive. The more you're underwater, the less lead you'll need to take you there. It's no different from training a muscle.
We should dive constantly, repeatedly, and then dive some more. What's next on the weight loss program?
Before you even get wet, picture yourself floating as gracefully as coral swaying in the current. Visualization works wonders.
Oh, so now we're supposed to daydream our way? What other weird underwater secrets are you hiding?
Core exercises on dry land. Strong abs mean better trim underwater. Think planks, not tanks.
Planking for perfect positioning. I love it. For others, Now remind our viewers what we covered in previous episodes that could reduce those weights.
Master your buoyancy through hovering practice, keep that trim horizontal, perfect those finning techniques, especially that frog kick. And most importantly, breathe deep. Each controlled breath means one less weight on your belt.
So hover, kick, and breathe our way to weightless wonder. That's more enlightening than a bioluminescent squid. Regis, one final splash. Before we go,
Just wanting to shed those weights is already winning half the battle. Most divers are too anchored in their comfort zone to even consider it.
and that's the last drop of Talk to the Fish for today. Well, with all these weight loss tips, we've turned into the underwater version of a fitness channel, minus the spandex. Next week, we're diving into the pressing mystery that's baffling the ocean community. Why do triggerfish never pursue careers in photography? I guess they just can't handle the flash. Until then, sea plungers, remember to keep your weights light and your spirits buoyant. And please, stop trying to teach the sea cucumbers to do a handshake. They are not fans of formal greetings.
Forget all the troubles and blues. Dive into the blue. Oh yes, talk to the fish.